What's up, guys? So starting my journey off today in New York City. It was my first time visiting, and it's definitely been an interesting experience. Now it's time to go back to LA though. Now it's time to go back to LA though. So yeah, let's make our way to the airport. So I'm here at the airport now. Before I go in though, I want to show you something really cool real quick. Come with me.
So right across Terminal 5 at JFK Airport was this TWA hotel. I found out that TWA, or Trans World Airlines, was a major airlines that operated in the United States from 1930s all the way till 2001. It was cool to see a hotel themed after this historic airlines even long after its demise. What attracted me to this building was not particularly the airlines, but just the cool retro look it had.
All right, now that's done, let's go in.
My flight today was from New York all the way till Los Angeles, California. The total flight time was about 6 hours and 24 minutes for an approximate distance of 2,475 miles traveled. For this flight, I was traveling with JetBlue. It was my first time traveling with them, and I was very excited to see what the onboard experience was going to be like. Just like some of the previous flights I had been on, I decided to do the check-in at the airport to see what the experience was like. There were these self-service kiosks once again, where you can check in using a variety of different methods, such as your confirmation number, your passport, the credit card you paid with, and a few other options. As usual, I decided to check in with my confirmation number. The interface was pretty responsive, but just slightly slow on loading things. There were the usual prompts of not carrying restricted items on board. After selecting the flight I wanted to check into, the next menu that popped up was the option to purchase access to the priority lanes through the security gates. Which, to be honest, I should have probably taken. Then there was the option to purchase extra checked bags, which I didn't need. And then this screen popped up saying that only paid seats were left on board, which kind of left me confused, to be honest, because I was pretty sure I had selected my seats at the time that I purchased the tickets. Anyways, a few clicks later, I had my boarding pass in hand. Before heading over to the gates, I noticed that there was a self-service baggage drop area as well, meaning no more long lines to check in your luggage. Alright, now making my way to the security lines, and man, there were a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people. And then there were more people. And even more people.
We haven't started the game yet, but this is already turning out to be a Scareport. Alright guys, that took quite a bit of time, but we made it through security. If you're here, just expect that there's going to be a long line at the security gates. Terminal 5, JFK.
Quick update here. So I cleared security not once, but twice, because I left the airport and then came back in at a later point. And both times it took me about 15 to 20 minutes to get through the security checks. So if you're going to be here at Terminal 5, then just keep that in mind and plan ahead for that. Alright, so after making my way through the security checks into the terminal, it was finally time to start our favorite game. Cool, so as I made my way into the concourse of Terminal 5, the first thing I noticed were these massive signs directing you towards the respective gates. Signs good, confusion bad. Boom. +1. Airport. Then, as any completely self-confident human being would, I connected myself to the Wi-Fi so I can check my Instagram for validation. The download speeds weren't incredible, but the upload speeds weren't too bad. That was totally fine with me though, because all I needed the internet for was to upload cool videos onto Instagram.
I got 0 likes. Oh yeah, airport Scareport. Yeah, free public Wi-Fi. Boom, +1, airport.
There were a lot of different restaurants here where you could grab some proper food before your flight.
Food, also good. +1, airport.
There was also a separate food court with a couple of fast food options available as well.
More food, also good. No +1 though, because we already gave +1 for food. Boom, no points awarded.
There was also a 24-hour shop where you could buy sandwiches, drinks, and snacks. Vending machines that sold food were also present.
This is great if you're there on an overnight layover. That way you still have plenty of options for food and drinks. Boom, +1, airport.
There were plenty of men's and women's bathrooms. And also, if you decided to, you could go poop with your entire family.
Now that's progressive. Boom, +1, airport.
There was a hydration station with a caution wet floor sign. And ironically, seconds after filming this happened.
Literally seconds after filling up my bottle and seeing that caution wet floor sign, I dropped the bottle full of water. But the good thing is they had a hydration station. So, boom, +1, airport.
There were plenty of stores and shops, and stores and shops, and more stores. And then there was this cool shop that was themed like a subway station.
Shops are good, and shops that look like other things, even better. Boom, +1, airport.
Then there was this JetBlue Junior room, which was essentially a kid's playroom that had an airplane theme to it.
If your kids are bugging you at the airport, you can just put them in this room and lock them up. Boom, +1, airport.
There was plenty of seating available throughout the terminal, even though it was packed. And also places where you could charge your electronic devices.
Plenty of seating is good, but having said that, there were only limited places where you could charge your devices, such as on these tables that were located between each gate. So if the place gets crowded, it might be hard to find available outlets. No points awarded.
There was also this Kylie Jenner vending machine, which I assume sold makeup stuff.
Scary how much I like this idea of cool vending machines that sell stuff other than snacks. Boom, airport.
There were also a few murals decorating some of the terminal walls.
Yeah, and there were also people who'd walk by your shot and completely ruin it. But art is good, so boom, +1, airport.
Finally, for all you plane spotters out there were plenty of views to the runways.
You're going to an airport to get on a plane, so might as well get some views of it, right? Boom, airport.
So our total tally is 11 for airport and 1 for Scareport, making JFK Terminal 5 officially an airport.
On a more serious note though, JFK Terminal 5, not a bad airport at all. There are plenty of shops and restaurants, there's free Wi-Fi, there's many places to sit and relax, and most importantly, there are many 24-hour shops where you can get food if you're there on an overnight layover. Having said that, the only main thing to keep in mind if you're going to be at this airport is that the security lines are very long, so just prepare ahead for that and you'll be fine.
So before we move on to boarding, I wanted to give you guys a quick update about the seat situation. When I checked in, it directed me to a page saying only paid seats are available for selection. I was kind of confused about that because when I got the tickets, I purchased seat selection as well, and I was pretty sure that I did select my seats. However, it seems like I didn't. So about an hour before boarding started, I went to the lady at the counter and asked her about this, and she handed me a new boarding pass with my seat number on it, and my seat number was 8A. This row was a part of their extra legroom seats. So I did originally want to do an economy class review, but I did end up getting bumped to the extra legroom seats. So what you'll be seeing in this video would be a review of the extra legroom seats. Anyways, I still had some time before boarding started, so I decided to get some work done, and then it was time for boarding.
Alright, so the boarding gates opened on time and it was fairly organized. We did, however, have a 3 to 5 minute wait before boarding the plane while we were on the jet bridge. The reason for this delay was not explained, but soon enough we boarded the plane and were greeted with a friendly welcome. Then I made my way to the seat 8A. This seat had plenty of legroom, but that's to be expected. This is one of their extra legroom seats. Yeah, not sure what I'm trying to do there, but anyways. There was also this padding on the seat belt, which was interesting. The seat featured an entertainment system and a standard seat back tray. The seat back pocket contained a menu and a barf bag. No safety information card. The overhead panel featured individual AC vents and individual reading lights. The entertainment system on board looked slightly dated, and to be honest, it wasn't very touch responsive, which was fine because there was a remote control for it, just very oddly placed. There was a decent selection of old and new movies and TV shows. However, the interface felt very dated, so browsing through the available selection was a bit of a hassle. On board's JetBlue, they did not hand out any earphones or headphones that you can connect to the entertainment system. Earphones, however, were available for purchase on board for about like $6. You could also bring in your own earphones or headphones and connect it to the entertainment system. Alright, back on boards now. There was an in-flight map that was filled with ads, but also occasionally showed some details about the trip. Finally, there was the JetBlue Experience section, where you can learn more about JetBlue's offerings. Oh, there was also a universal power port and some trash left over by the previous passenger. There was Wi-Fi available on boards, and it could be accessed by signing into your TrueBlue account, which is JetBlue's membership and rewards program. Since I didn't already have a TrueBlue membership, I decided to sign up for one so I could access the internet to see what the speeds were like. However, as you can see here, it seemed that the servers were down, so I wasn't able to create a new TrueBlue account. But having said that, I was still able to access the internet, which was cool. Now, as you can see, the download speeds were pretty decent for Wi-Fi on board a flight, and the upload speeds, however, weren't that great. Eventually, we taxied out to the runway and lined up in the queue awaiting takeoff. We watched other flights take off as we waited our turn down the runway. And shortly after, it was our turn. As I stared outside the window at this beautiful city right beneath us, there was only one thing that came to mind: how incredibly bright New York City was from the skies above. Shortly after, the snack service began as well. There were a variety of buy on-board meals available on this flight. There were a handful of options to choose from, including vegetarian and vegan options. There were also a variety of snack boxes available for purchase on board. Complimentary drinks included soft drinks, juices, tea, and coffee, and alcohol was also available for purchase on board. Having been convinced by the ad at the bottom of the menu, I opted for Pepsi Zero on board this flight. As the menu told me, I had to try it to believe it. It tasted like sugar water. Complimentary snacks were also available on board, and I opted for the plantain chips.
There was one snack service on board this 6-hour flight, but after the service was done, there were snacks laid out in the galley so passengers can come grab them whenever they felt like it.
So the bathroom on board this flight was actually a decent size, not as tiny as Southwest. There was actually a human-sized sink. And there was this soap that said, "Lather like a soap star." There was a power outlet. Hey, look, there's AC outlets in this bathroom as well. Haven't seen one of those in a while. There was a coat hook, which was nice. And there was an ashtray, which was also nice. I walked out of the bathroom to this very blue-looking cabin and made my way to the seat. Once I got back to the seat, I got, let's call them views, over a very dark United States. Shortly after, we made our approach into the skies above Los Angeles and began our descent. As we prepared for landing, I had some time to reflect on my experience with JetBlue. As for their hard product, JetBlue has some decent offerings here. Their seats were comfortable, there was plenty of legroom, and there was an onboard entertainment system as well. The cabin didn't necessarily look sleek or modern, but it didn't feel as basic as onboard American or Southwest. The bathrooms felt slightly bigger than the ones on board Delta and American, and definitely a lot bigger than the one on board Southwest. Although there was some trash left over underneath my seat, overall, the cabin looked fairly clean and well kept. Now, as for the soft product, the crew on board were very friendly and also very professional. Their terminal was fantastic, and it's evident that a decent amount of effort was put into branding. It definitely seems that JetBlue is trying to offer major airline perks, even with their low-cost carrier model. Now, as far as cost goes, I paid a total of $240 for this flight, including seat selection. Given that JetBlue's pricing is either on par or at best marginally different from the rest of the major airlines, I fail to see how they're considered a low-cost carrier. Especially given this price point, I hesitate to recommend JetBlue over the major carriers, simply because airlines such as Delta offer great value without applying any of the low-cost strategies as JetBlue does. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this mini-series with my trip around the US trying out different airlines. I definitely had fun and got to explore a lot of cool airlines. I still haven't tried Alaska and Hawaiian Airlines, so I'm excited to try those out at a later point and see how they compare to the ones I just took. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed these videos and either found them helpful or entertaining, and I'll see you on the next one.